Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Jerks. Byron is grumpy.
Whatever.
I'm Mike, he's Byron.
I wish to be addressed by the name my newly adopted homeland of East Korea has given me.
East Korea, huh?
Yep. It's brand new. They
are you Bong You Bang?
No, they refer to me as Do Chu Poon.
I like mine better, but that's good. All right, we've watched all the WWE that we can stand for the week.
Yeah, pretty much.
And I've seen everything. You've seen Raw, 205, and NXT, correct? Oops.
Yeah. Change? Got any change?
Knocked over a quarter.
Sounded like multiple. Sounded like exactly 37 cents.
But that's not possible. There are no pennies.
You're a hoarder.
I have pennies, but they're all locked away. Anyways, let us open up with Raw, which was really this was the Braun show. This was the Braun show. Braun opens up talking about how he's going to beat up Kane, he's going to beat up Brock Lesnar, and Kurt Angle comes out to fire him.
Yeah, that was kind of surprising. I expected, you're suspended, or some bullshit. You're never going to be, we're going to keep you out of that match. And fired? That's a bit drastic.
It was a little bit drastic, yeah. Braun then begins a night-long rampage backstage, destroying the security team.
Yeah.
And then we have The Bar versus the Titus Worldwide. It was not a bad match. Jason Jordan comes out to distract The Bar, and Apollo rolls up Sheamus for the 3. And for some reason, Seth Rollins was not a fan of this. That didn't really make any sense throughout the entire night.
No, not at all. He should have come out and laughed. Point and laugh at these fools. Ha ha ha, good one.
It should have been at worst, it should have been I would have appreciated a heads up. That is as far as it should have gone. But he was properly dressing down Jason Jordan.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, we continue the rampage. Kurt Angle's office gets destroyed, and because Braun hates everything with the name Kurt Hawkins is next. Then we move on to Tony Nese versus Cedric Alexander. We get Enzo and Goldust promo time, to which I just have, go Goldie, go Goldie. Woo! We end up with, before the match even gets underway, we get more rampage backstage with Braun Strowman. And then we end up with Cedric winning with a pump handle slam reversing a pump handle slam into a lumbar check to get the win. The highlight of the match was honestly Goldust fucking with Enzo at ringside. That was pretty much the best part of it, because we have seen every permutation of Cedric Alexander versus Tony Nese that the WWE will allow them to have.
Correct.
So can we please stop? We go backstage again. Kurt is alarmed that Braun is heading towards the production truck, which is apparently
Those cost $12 million.
Those cost $12 million.
Oh my god.
This was the worst part of the night, because we just got bad shaky cam and Braun flipping a tractor, which makes very little sense because he then goes out to the ring and has a hard time lifting up Michael Cole.
Yeah, that was fucking weird.
I did like the fact that Booker T, I think, inadvertently caused Cole to get caught. That was good. And in the end, Stephanie McMahon has rehired Braun Strowman, which makes
no sense.
People have put a logical spin on it, which is basically we want to embarrass him, and if he works for us, we can do that. But that's terrible. It's terrible logic. It makes sense in a very twisted and bad way.
Yeah, they just don't have a fucking clue how to tell any storyline at all. It's weird.
Mind you, they do have to. I mean, this is always the problem with the heel authority figure, is that you always do have to find a way to justify why the person isn't just fired. And
I guess
there are, in fairness, only a certain number of ways you can do that. But I just wouldn't have fired Braun to begin with, because what did we really get? We got Braun fired and rehired in the same episode. He's still in the triple threat at Rumble. This didn't advance the storyline in any way.
Nope. Not at all. And it didn't do anything to enhance his character, because we knew he could do all these things. It doesn't matter.
Again, the fact that he had a hard time actually lifting and slamming Michael Cole actually detracted from his character.
Yeah, good job. You spent an hour fucking him up. You're goddamn idiots.
He ends up chucking Cole into the security team, and we move on to Nia Jax versus Asuka. Hi, we're giving this match away for free on Raw. Okay. It wasn't bad. I do like the fact that, Asuka got the win by injuring the knee with the aid of the stairs, so Nia Jax still looks like a monster. Asuka still looks like a killing machine to a degree.
Yeah, the only reason I paid any attention to this match was to find out what the finish was going to be, because there's no way they should have Nia Jax job out before the Rumble. There's no reason at all. Like, you literally...
There's no reason to job out Asuka, though, so, I mean, there's
you're
your
literally
problem.
sticking 5 guns in your mouth and pulling the triggers if you job out Asuka now. So what the fuck are they gonna? They're gonna have a bunch of people rush the ring like they always do, and I was reasonably surprised that they didn't just lazily do that.
Yeah, it's like I said, a match that shouldn't have taken place, but wasn't terrible. So We'll go with that. We'll go with good thing. I am gonna knock Asuka's submission spot on the armbar triangle, because being an MMA fan, I'm like, that is not an armbar or a triangle. It is neither. Right. I'm not sure what it's supposed to be. I think it was supposed to be a triangle, and the deal is Nia Jax is so broad she couldn't actually lock it on. At which point I would have been like, okay, change it into an armbar then.
Something. I don't know what the fucking deal is.
Or just have Nia Jax stop selling and get out of it. Like, that's your other option. Like, this doesn't work on me. Jason Jordan comes in to talk with Kurt Angle, thanks him for believing in him, and basically kind of does the... Dad, I need you to give my friend a match with Finn Balor.
Yeah, this made less sense than Jason Jordan being scolded by Seth Rollins.
I think Seth Rollins scolding Jason Jordan actually made less sense than this. But this didn't make sense.
Well, he just got scolded, so he goes to throw his partner in the ring against somebody without any warning. This doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah, well, I mean, heels don't make sense. That's how this works. Did note that Cole got killed, so Tom Phillips is on the Raw commentary. I have a problem with this because, again, SmackDown and Raw are supposed to be separate. Yes, I know, Corey Graves is on both. The announcing teams are not really separate. I get it. But shouldn't Phillips be with the SmackDown roster prepping for SmackDown?
Yes.
So why is he here? Wait to tell me that it's predetermined that Michael Cole's going to get killed.
Predetermined, but they still can't write anything correctly.
Like, either throw in a backup announcer. Like, you've got a number of interview bots who could do something, I guess.
Give somebody a job. God damn it.
Or just have Booker T and Corey Graves, as bad as that would be, just take the rest of the day.
Yeah. I don't know. Okay, we got this storyline figured out. We're going to do this next fucking week. What are we going to do? Oh, we'll just have Michael Cole do this, and then we'll have the guy from another fucking, supposed, not federation, but...
brand.
Another brand, yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. So they had minimum a week to figure this out, and they still fucked it up. Like, congratulations, retards.
Yeah, pretty freaking terrible. Bliss goes backstage to check on Nia Jax. Enzo's there. Bliss tries to shoo him away. And Jax and Enzo both tell her, Enzo's got this. And then we have a Revival versus Jobbers match. I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that was... I don't like the fact that they don't, when they do things like this, they don't put the other team's names even up. They go, oh, we just come back from a commercial. Here's an ass kicking for you to watch.
Yeah, it'd be nice if, especially when you have NXT, you can just pull up some people from the Performance Center and just, here you go.
Well, apparently one of them is Bayley's fiance, so.
Shatter Machine for the win, and then we have a post-match interview where the Revival basically say, we are wrestlers, not entertainers. Oh, they're going to get heat for that.
Oh, yeah, apparently they said pro wrestlers, 2-3 times?
Yeah.
And then somebody put up on Twitter, oh, you said a bad word, Vince is going to be angry, and one of them responded like he already is.
Yeah.
So the Revival is now the Ascension. They're going to get the shit jobbed out of them for years.
They're going to job to the Legends at the 25th anniversary show. That's what that is.
So fucking bad.
Yeah.
Fucking it up again.
Yeah, you really need some depth to your tag team division, and you're doing something with Titus Worldwide. I appreciate that, but you need the Revival. And,
Vince, I got a great idea. Let's throw away our entire future all the time for no reason.
Yep.
That's a great idea, kid.
It was a great idea. We'll have 60-year-old John Cena out there drawing.
Can we get Bastion Booger in to do a technical match against Apollo Crews? It'll be a wonderful.
Oh, God.
Give him a win.
Why do you have to give me nightmares? Then we had Elias Sampson with a song about John Cena and introducing The Miz. The Miz is the star. He will take the IC title from Roman Reigns. Nothing particularly interesting here. Leading to a Roman Reigns versus Bo Dallas and Curtis Axel match, and where Roman does prevail despite the heel tactics. It was not terrible. I would argue it was actually better than when they did this basically same thing with Finn Balor. But, it didn't really do anything.
Yeah, well, it's probably better because they've finally had practice doing 2-on-1 matches.
Then we had Sasha Banks with Bayley and Mickie James versus Sonya Deville with Absolution at ringside. Hyperbole here with Booker T. We haven't seen a superstar like this since Sonya Deville since Ken Shamrock. Someone kill Jesus. Booker T now.
Fuck, he's terrible.
The match was short, which, therefore little gets fucked up, so there you go. And Deville winds up winning with a body kick.
I skipped the entire match because I could not be bothered. Once I found out that, last Friday, apparently Paige has officially medically been retired by the Wobbly Wobbly Bee, which I would like to talk about.
More or less ruins the Absolution deal.
Yeah, so Paige apparently got hurt 5 or 6 years ago or some dumb shit like that, because I legitimately had never seen her wrestle. I got into wrestling apparently got back into watching it repeatedly about, I think, 2 or 3 months after she got hurt. Or maybe less than that, maybe only a month after she got hurt. She apparently went against every piece of advice or instruction that the WWE doctors had for her. Got a random doctor to do a random surgery on her. Missed the two violations she had last year or the year before, whatever the fuck, were her just not showing up for her medical procedures. So she got violated twice, giggity, by, again, not following the rules. After she had her surgery, her doctor told her never to wrestle again. And she did anyway. And she was taking part during a regular ass match, took a drop kick in the back, and now she's fucked for her entire life. And she's 25.
Fairness, it appears that the doctor said I would not recommend wrestling, which, to be honest, I'm pretty sure a lot of doctors have said that over the years to people who were quite capable of wrestling, because it's kind of like when I hurt myself and I'm like, so could I do MMA and stuff? And the doctor's like, I would not recommend it. I'm fine, but, no doctor's going to recommend doing it.
Yeah, well, I would recommend that at some point she listens to somebody. What the fuck is her problem?
I would say beyond even the medical things, the whole thing with Alberto Del Rio, not listening to her family, her employer, her friends, etc. Like, she definitely headstrong, which is good in some ways, but very bad in other ways.
Little piece of advice, maybe take little pieces of advice here or there. Just putting that out there. I have no sympathy for her whatsoever.
I have minimal sympathy. Her dream is over, etc. But yeah, she is the author of her own demise, in my opinion. Yep. So the sympathy I feel is significantly less than, for example, when Edge was forced to retire, or really any wrestler has been forced to retire over the years.
Yeah, well, apparently this is the same injury that Edge had, and who else was there? There's somebody else that had the same injury. I guess Stone Cold did, but he had it surgically repaired like 17 times or something.
But just getting back to the match. This it's not a bad match. But it's a short match. That's kind of what my take from this is. They don't trust Deville to do a long match, so they kept it short. They kept it simple, and it was tolerable. With a really bad finish, because yes, we're going to build this women's roster on the idea that women are like toughest men and they can do things and blah, blah, blah. We're having our first Rumble, first Money in the Bank match, etc. let's have one of our girls win by body kick.
I mean, liver kick is a feasible way.
It's not a liver
it,
kick.
Yeah,
it was like to the stomach.
What I'm saying is, it's not a liver kick, so it doesn't matter. Body kicks don't hurt. Everybody knows
they hurt, but they're not a finisher.
No, I'm exaggerating. Let me do my heel turn.
Yes, but I gotta do the face. I gotta do the face protesting your heel turn.
Listen, Saxton.
Oh, come on, I'm Phillips at least.
Shut up, Phillips. So everybody knows body kicks don't hurt. And also you have a real mixed martial arts fighter on your roster. And you're trying to sign another real mixed martial arts fighter.
You technically have multiple because you have Baszler and Lesnar.
Yeah, well, I'm talking female only. I mean, if you want to throw Lesnar into the female category, go right ahead. He does have boobies now. So you have Shayna Baszler. You're trying to sign, if not have already signed, Ronda Rousey.
And as a side effect, you may end up with Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke.
Yeah, so why are we trying to fake martial art this thing? Like, what is the deal? It worked in the 80s when you had Ricky Steamboat as the dragon. That worked fine, because everybody loved Bruce Lee, and Ricky Steamboat kind of looked Bruce Lee-ish, and, give him the dragon gimmick, and he kicks people. That's cool. I mean, that worked. This is 2008 fucking teen, dude. Like, the Shayna Baszler is not doing a great job at fake martial arting it, and she's a professional mixed martial artist. What the fuck?
And again, I've said this before to anyone who doesn't follow MMA, Sonya Deville, not really a professional mixed martial artist. She had a couple of amateur fights against girls who didn't amount to anything. I'm sure she's a tough girl. I'm sure she can kick most people's ass. I will give it that. I don't know how serious she is about her MMA training at any point. But she didn't achieve shit. So if you're trying to build it off, like she was never in the UFC, never in Bellator, never in any major promotion.
She wasn't even in Invicta, was she?
She was not in Invicta. Like, you've got Shayna Baszler, who has been in the UFC, has been in Strikeforce, might have been in Elite XC even. Legit badass. Not a great fighter by any means, but, badass. You're trying to get Ronda Rousey. You're possibly going to end up with Jessamine Duke off of that. You're possibly going to end up with Marina Shafir, who's not really an MMA fighter. She's kind of in that same boat. She has more of a judo girl. You also have Tainara Conti, who is a lot more accomplished in judo than Sonya Deville is in MMA. You have a couple of male people who have had more extensive, like this is someone who has slightly above the usual martial arts background. Stop trying to make her like the Killing Machine.
Yeah, it's not working. She looks fucking atrocious doing it.
You just made... Now, in fairness, I guess Sasha Banks would be very vulnerable to midsection kicks with how skinny she is, but you just made Sasha Banks look really weak.
Hey Vince, I got a great idea. Let's throw our entire future away. It'll be great. That's a good idea, kid. Let's get Delindra blazing and have her do a brutal beatdown on Bayley.
That'd be better. Okay, moving on. We get into Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan having a chat. Rollins doesn't like it when Jordan steps out of his role as a teammate. You don't speak for me, blah, blah, blah. I got him being angry now because, you did just get me a match that I wasn't really prepared for. I'm going to take it because I don't want to look like a puss, and I do want Balor. But, I have my notes here. I'm still not sure why he's mad about the bar deal, because he's still lecturing him here.
Dude, that was hilarious. I laughed when it was happening real time. I fucking laughed. I'm like, that's awesome. Classic diversion and tomfoolery. I enjoyed the shit out of it when it happened. And then Rollins comes out, he's like, I'm like, shut the fuck up, old woman. It's fucking funny.
Yep.
Get up there and laugh. You're a face. Enjoy. Have a laugh.
Yeah. Some parts of this Jason Jordan storyline have been really well done, and some parts are really not well done.
The Jason Jordan part of the Jason Jordan storyline is great.
Aside from the 2 weeks there where he was really, really whiny for 2 weeks, but you take that away, and I've been down with it. Matt Hardy versus Heath Slater, baby. Slater ends up bailing early on, which kind of makes sense because he's in there with a madman. Rhino's like, get back in there, and he does. And Slater winds up getting bit by Matt Hardy to turn the tides. And Slater does get to kick out of a side effect, so, okay. But he does fall to the twist of fate.
Yeah, I'm liking this storyline too. I'm hoping the eventual build, and you're seeing it being, this is actually a well-booked, slow storyline, where he doesn't want any part of any of this. He doesn't want even a single ounce of this. But this time he kicked out of a move. Maybe next week he gets a little bit of offense in that makes some sense. And
he got a tad bit of offense, actually, on Hardy.
Yeah, but I mean, like a sustained amount. Like he has like maybe 2 minutes of straight offense. And then we slowly build, and hopefully Rhino loses some weight so he can move around again and stuff like that.
Yeah, Rhino's got some health problems as far as I know.
Oh, really? I wasn't aware of that.
More just like with the retaining of the fat part. Sort of. It's kind of a Raven deal where like he can't. Oh, yeah. There's not a lot he can do about the weight.
Yeah, the thyroid problem. That's. I think with Raven, it was mainly the drugs that fried parts of his brain.
Yeah. Finn Balor with the club versus Seth Rollins with Jason Jordan. Kind of an interesting story of the match, with Balor working the surgically repaired knee of Rollins. Rollins working the bad shoulder. We did get a too sweet chant, which I have here. Yeah, Vince, he's not over. He's not over, Vince.
Not even a little bit.
I did like that both men went for high risks and utterly failed. Rollins missing his Phoenix Splash, and Balor going up for the coup de grace and getting suplexed and Falcon Arrowed for a 2 count.
Yeah.
Very near the end, Balor gets the knee up on a frog splash. The bar comes out. Jason Jordan gets caught between the bar and the club, and it looks like it's going to be bad things for him. But Sheamus winds up whacking Gallows by accident, and that leads to the club and bar brawling. By the way, club and bar, I need that to be like a long-term feud.
The club bar.
The club bar.
What if they joined the Bullet Club?
Ooh. We're the Balor Bar.
Yeah.
And in the end, Balor wipes out the bar and the Good Brothers. He goes for the coup de grace and misses. Cesaro distracts the referee, allowing Jason Jordan to trip up Balor, and Rollins hits the curb stomp. It's back.
Dude, I marked out hard for that.
For the win. I didn't really like the fact that Balor basically was acting like he was concussed or his neck was fucked up or whatever. Not really in good taste.
I liked the fact that he was selling the curb stomp. I think it went on for a while and there was no real explanation, and of course commentary was total dog shit. Didn't really help us out with motivation there. But I liked the finish to the match, like all of the shenanigans and Jason Jordan. And I expect that, next week on Raw we'll have a clip where he's like, meh, 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 you cheated, meh, meh, meh.
Oh, please God.
Not clearly, Seth Rollins has never cheated to win a match in his entire life, so he was
not the world champion based on Triple H being his benefactor and J&J Security coming down in all of his matches to interfere, and Kane and Randy Orton.
Yeah, so it's gonna make zero sense. I can see it coming 17,000 kilometers away, and they'll do it anyway.
Yup. On to SmackDown. Before I get started with the SmackDown, you did not watch SmackDown. You heard it was a bad show. I
heard, hold on, I got the card pulled up here. I'm going to go over things very quickly. Where is it? Where did I put it? There. Okay, so very quickly, the card rundown is Jinder Mahal beating Xavier Woods in an 18-minute match. Wow, that went on for a long fucking... I'm assuming they had like 9 commercial breaks in there. Bobby Roode then beat Mojo Rawley in a much shorter 13-minute match, which makes sense. Then we had Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan versus Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and Naomi in an 8-minute match. So you gave a 6-man tag less than half the time of your curtain jerker? What are you people, retarded? And then Booby Roode, or is it Booby Rhodes, I believe? They've fucked up his name so many times in marquees, it's hilarious. I think he's known as Booby Rhodes now. Beat Jinder Mahal for the U.S. title. In what I have been told is the least interesting match to ever exist.
Disagree with that. I can think of worse matches.
Oh, probably.
But it was not good.
But I'm just like, at least you have some strong feelings one way or the other. Apparently, this one was just. Bleh.
You're not wrong on any of this. I am, however, going to compare this to an MMA fight here for a moment, if I may.
If you will.
So in MMA, we have two terms that most MMA fans hate: lay and pray and stall and wall. And that's basically where a fighter wins by controlling the fight and not really doing any damage, not really any excitement. You're never really invested in the fight. It's one thing when you're expecting an exciting fight and you get that. It's another thing when you know you're going to get that. And that was this card. I looked at this card and this show and went, I am not disappointed in any of these matches because I had no expectations of anything good.
Correct. Like, I have zero interest in Xavier Woods versus Jinder Mahal. I have a lot more interest in Bobby Roode versus Mojo Rawley because I think both of those guys.
No, I'm gonna poke a pin in that when we get there.
Well, that's why I didn't fucking watch it because I knew they'd fuck it up so bad. But
no, it's not that they fucked it up. Like, this is the thing: is the booking of these matches was fine. No, to all the agents on SmackDown, you did your job. You just weren't given anything that was going to be good.
Yeah, but I mean, both of those guys can do quality character work, and they can do interesting things in the road.
The problem with that one is the heel face dynamic. I think Bobby Roode as a heel versus Mojo Rawley as a face could be a really good match.
True, I would be much more interested in watching a double heel match. I want to see both of these guys
or double heel. Yeah, I'm fine with that. The problem is that Bobby Roode as a babyface in peril, which is what he was in both of his matches tonight, or not tonight, but on SmackDown, is not very compelling. He's never been a particularly good babyface, just general, and when it has, it's been with people like Beer Money with James Storm and working with AJ Styles, that kind of thing. You know, people who are really bringing the face to him and not really inspiring him. I'm like, he's a very good heel. I don't know why he's a face. Because he's not. The thing is he's kind of big to, like, he's not even small. Like, it'd be one thing if you transported Bobby Roode, his personality, promo skills, kind of schwarminess, and put him into the body of Rockstar Spud. I'm going extreme with that one. You could generate sympathy that way because he's so small. But Bobby Roode's pretty big. Like, he's smaller than Mojo Rawley and Jinder Mahal. But when he's playing babyface in peril to those two guys, it's just not very good. And that's what these two matches were.
Yeah, and the 6-woman tag match, I mean, I'm not interested. I've seen that match. I've seen that match like 6 times already. I don't fucking care.
Kind of more or less in the same boat there, although we haven't seen a lot of Becky Lynch versus the Riot Squad, so that was kind of new. So I enjoyed when Becky was in there. It was, fresh, new. But when Naomi was in there, seen it. When Charlotte was in there, largely seen it. Like, I could go for like a 20-minute Ruby Riott versus Charlotte match, but I don't really need to see her working with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan to any real particular degree. Don't get me wrong, I'm actually a big fan of Crazy Mary Dobson, who is Sarah Logan. Hopefully some of that starts to come out soon.
Probably not. Makes too much sense. They should never have put her in this faction. They should have paired her up with Bray Wyatt, and she should be Sister Abigail right now.
Yeah, I'd be 100% down for that, or make her a singles act or whatever. But like, she doesn't really fit in the Riot Squad. Neither does Liv Morgan, to be honest.
No, I appreciate the fact that Liv Morgan changes her look up every single week. I think that's funny.
Liv Morgan pinned Naomi for the win in this particular match. The best match of the night, and it's not saying good things, was the Xavier Woods Jinder Mahal match, but it went way too long. But that dynamic does work. Xavier can play the babyface in peril and let Jinder look like the strong heel, and that works. Not for 18 minutes, but that does work. SmackDown. I'm not angry at it because like nothing disappointed me. But the fact that there was nothing on a show of 2 hours that could disappoint me is the problem.
Yeah.
Just to cover a couple other things, there were some storytelling things. Baron Corbin hyped himself up for the Rumble in a completely illogical manner because his thing was, there are no politics in the Royal Rumble. There are no distractions in the Royal Rumble. There are politics in a Royal Rumble. There are distractions in a Royal Rumble. Fuck.
You fucking moron. What the who told him to say that?
I'm gonna go with Vince.
Jesus fucking Christ. What are you people retarded? How many times per Rumble, I'm not even going to say per year, how many times per Rumble do we see either a tag team get together because they're friends, or we have a triumvirate of people who sometimes it's three heels, sometimes it's a heel and a face that...
Let's not forget the Daniel Puder savage beating at the hands of Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Bob Holly, and Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, but I mean, you get people aligning together that aren't ordinarily together all the fucking time in every single goddamn Rumble. What the fuck are you talking about? No politics, fuck, whatever.
And how could a multi-man match not have distractions?
Jesus. What the fuck? And how many times per Rumble does somebody either get eliminated and then yank somebody else out even though they've been eliminated, or they'll go to the back and then come back out and beat somebody up and then get them eliminated too?
Yeah.
Like at least once per Rumble.
AJ gave a babyface promo that started bad, ended good, nothing really the tremendous substance. The ladies all got to talk about how important the Rumble was to them. Randy Orton got to deliver actually a pretty good Royal Rumble promo about how he's going to win for the third time. Usos got some promo time when Benjables came out, attacked them, and left them laying. And then we had a promo to set up Rusev Day versus a very non-enthusiastic Ascension. It was Rusev and Aiden English talking to the Breezango combo, and Breezango saying, "You want a match with us? You got to go through our friends, the Ascension." And the Ascension is sitting there looking just stupefied, going, "What?"
Yeah.
So,
I'm not really sure what's going on there.
Yeah, skip this show. On to 205. Take us away, Byron.
205. Actually, before we go into, do we want to talk about the Rumble afterwards, or between?
Let's go with afterwards.
Okay, fair enough. We have 205, or as I have it written down here, I believe is 205 Alive Citrus Blend is my official title. I believe they start with their theme song that goes something like, "You can run and hide, but I'll punch you in the boobs. This is war, something like that. We had TJP again. This is like the third week in a row where he's the curtain jerker.
Yep.
I no idea why he's being the curtain jerker, but goddamn, he starts off every fucking show with a fucking bang. So keep doing it, I guess. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. He has himself a match against the grandest Metalik in the entire arena. Part 2. They had a match last week.
Part 3, actually.
Is it part 3? I thought this was part 2.
TJ won the first one, Grand Metalik won the second one.
I thought he beats... Okay, fair enough. I thought he beat somebody else as his big comeback, but I think you're right, actually. Mm-hmm. So this is part... I'll have to amend that in my notes before I erase them. I have my notes here say, literally saw this last week, forgot about the week before, because the one before was pretty quick and short, if I remember correctly.
Was largely a little bit of a squash.
Yeah, pretty disappointing, and I hope that they had more chances to do good things, and they were. Like, this was a much, much better match. They kept a lot of dynamic momentum going throughout the entire time. There was I don't remember a single dead spot. Even when they did like they slowed down for a minute and did like a rear chin lock spot. But TJP didn't like sit there the whole time. He turned it into a straight jacket, and he did a bunch of other stuff. So even the rest holds weren't just sitting around and being dumb and boring. There was Grandma Leak had a handhold double springboard shotgun drop kick, which I have titled the old school shotgun.
Nice.
TJP did a baseball slide attempt that Grandma Leak did a sit up to get out of the way, and ended up crotching himself on the ring on the ring post, which I thought was fucking funny. And yeah, it was just a good goddamn match. This was the match that I expected to see last week, for God's sakes. Not sure why they decided to do a dumb match last week and a good match this week, but okay. I have one note here that says, no super tantrum, perhaps more to come in the show. And then they came back from commercials like, ha, I knew it. He's smashing shit.
I enjoyed that. Metal Elite got the win with the roll-up. And the backstage tantrum, the interview bot comes up to him and goes, are you crying? No!
To which I have a note, I'm not crying, you're crying!
Line of the week.
I enjoyed that great deal. And he did a really good job. Like, you can't really tell. The lighting's not good enough. He might have been crying. You don't know. And if he was crying, I mean, total kudos. That's, you got an actual actor on staff.
TJ Perkins is amazing at all things pro wrestling. His views towards women's rights may not be all that great. But honestly, in the ring, fantastic worker. Out of the ring, good promo. Can play heel and face very well. Do more with him, WWE.
Pretty pleased with Sugar on top. We had a Jacques Gallagher promo. I'm hoping that he said some cool stuff about, attacking him from different angles, perhaps his family and friends. So here's hoping that this turns into some weird mafia blood feud thing that is, feud of the year. And then Cedric Alexander's music hit, and then it was immediately shut down because it's garbage, and Goldie's music starts playing because Goldust is the shit. I enjoyed the addition of the spikes to his new jacket. I thought those were very nice. Mm-hmm. We were joined at ringside by the NWZO, and there was a good bit of back and forth. There was a lot of movie references. I enjoyed the shit out of it. He called Enzo a swamp duck.
Am I a clown? Do I amuse you?
Oh man! And the upshot was that what's his name again? The short guy with the thing, Enzo. Enzo basically said, you're not even 205 pounds. What the fuck? And if you want a shot at the top, you want a match against me, then you got to go through, an audition process and beat all three of my guys in one go. And then Goldie's like, yeah, okay, fine, let's do that.
And then he did.
He did, and this was a good goddamn match too. Again, a dynamic. Nothing ever was stale. There wasn't a a half-hour beat down and then suddenly Goldie gets a roll-up for the win. There was none of that bullshit. There was a lot of back and forth.
I really enjoyed the Goldust eyes in the back of my head spot where, the Zo train was coming at him and he didn't even turn to look at him, just, swatting them away.
Yeah. There was a lot of... they did a really good job of not only putting over, Goldust is so much bigger than us, we were having a hard time, but they put over the fact that he's, a fucking veteran and smart and can figure your shit out and has seen your shit before. So I enjoyed all of the storytelling involved with this match.
I feel like at some point he should have just been like, son, I have feuded with Scott Hall.
Uh-huh. And that's all they had on this particular episode. So
very short, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell the deal was. I guess they got preempted, or I don't know what the hell the deal is.
Gulak got pinned. We didn't talk about Gulak's getup.
Oh yeah, so Gulak apparently is from Texas, and they've been, doing all of their tapings in Texas this week. And apparently he has been, it says place of birth, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, so I don't know what the deal is.
Might have spent some time in Texas or something.
Maybe he lives there now, I don't know. But he is decked the fuck out in cowboy gear. There's shots of him on the in the airport, on the plane, giant-ass cowboy hat, bolo tie, the whole get-up, the entire ensemble. And then he comes out to the ring on 205, and he's wearing, long shorts, tall boots, a cowboy hat, and a shirt. It's like, what are you doing?
I like Enzo. I hope that the Enzo bit, while they're getting ready for the match, was completely not scripted. It was just, I didn't even realize you were wearing that.
Yeah, and they all came down to the ring to get in their corner to do the match against Goldust, and Enzo was like, I didn't even know you were wearing that hat. Something like that. Did you know that Drew Gulak was also Soul Giant?
Yes, I'm aware.
I was not aware. I'm looking at his profile. I had no idea.
He is a proud member of the colony.
Correct. And that leads us on to the next XT, which I was super pumped. Immediately the music of Heavy Machinery hit, or as I have written down, Heavy Mechs. And they're looking fine and flying foxy in their new fucking gear. And then the Fuckboys music hit, and the Fuckboys came down, and I have written down here, shit. Looks like the only hot team on NXT is jobbing out again. Also, there was, who I've written down, the autistic weasel that's been paid to screech at the Fuckboys. That was really annoying. And suddenly, while the Fuckboys, who are Sabatelli and Moss, by the way, anybody who's not, any new viewers...
Anybody who's not familiar with who the Fuckboys are.
Those are the Fuckboys, Sabatelli and Moss. And then suddenly it occurred to me, and I had to write it down, like, isn't TM61 supposed to be back this week? And then we went into the match. It was a good match, surprisingly good match. Sabatelli and Moss have been in training for like 3 years.
4 years.
And what?
4 years, I think.
Is it? No, I think I looked it up earlier this morning. I think it's only 3.
What was it?
But you could be right. Oh wait, there's 20. It will be 4 years in the fall, I believe. So I was surprisingly impressed with the Fuckboys' ability to not be totally shit. That was good. They still got a lot to learn. They still don't really have any personality at all. They are...
Sabatelli has a little bit of personality. It comes through in his facial expressions. Like there's a little bit there, but yeah, Moss, well, dull as Moss.
Yeah,
and and their technical ability in the ring is still quite underwhelming.
Yeah, you notice that they're putting them in promo or in programs with only teams that are really, really, really over for whatever reason, and they're not picking up on any of this. They can't get over on their own.
This was probably their best match, though. Like this match was a significant step forward from their matches with Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch and the Street Profits.
Yeah, unquestionably their best match in their entire career. I really loved the Tucker. Tucker put Sabatelli in the front face lock, aka guillotine choke, arm in guillotine, and gave him the big swing from that position. I marked out. I was like, "That's amazing! That's awesome! Why has no one thought of this before?"
I'm sure someone has.
Probably. There was a bushwhacker stomp, circle stomp, which was awesome. And then they gave him like the I don't know, what I would have called the super collider, but apparently AOP have got that on trademark. They basically just ran at him and belly smashed the shit out of him. And
super compactor.
So, yeah. Well, the compactors where they do, that's their finisher.
Yeah. What can we do with that?
I don't know. Let's call it the bulldozer.
The Terminator demise?
No, that's too wordy. Doesn't make sense. And then Moss did a really good Flair flop, or Flair-esque flop. I have here Flair-esque cell gerb by Moss is what I have written down. And we had your boy, the Dozy, did the worm, which was awesome. And then the heels won in heel tactics, which I don't have any problem with.
I was okay with it.
Made total sense. There's no way that you fuckboys are going to beat these guys. You have to cheat to win, and
it gives them a program because there's no room really for them in the title picture right now, kind of crowded, and gives them someone to feud with, and hopefully Moss and Sabatelli get better off of this, and hopefully Heavy Machinery gets slightly better off of this as well.
Yeah, I don't think. Well, yeah, Heavy Machinery, they can always improve, but I think they just need more exposure. Like literally, they could go to the main. They actually should put them on the main roster to get out of the way of War Machine. Or put War Machine right on the main roster. One of the two.
I would go with the War Machine on the main roster.
Yeah, absolutely. But, I mean, Vince is kind of an idiot, so, we had a really good promo after that from the prefabricated Fortnite. And I was impressed. Like, everybody had something to say. They all said it really well. And Bobby Fish still looking good with the mustache.
Always.
We moved on to a match between Fabian Eichner and Roderick Strong, and I only have 2 notes for this. Fuck, that was good, and Strong versus Sullivan, fuck yeah. Long story short, Strong and Fabian had a great match. excellent storytelling, good use of counters. Many backbreakers were had. Various athletic feats were performed, and then Strong gets on the mic after his win, and Cheb gets right up into the camera and fucking challenges Lars Sullivan to a match. So I'm looking forward to that shit.
Agreed with everything. A little less hyped on the match than you were, mostly because I think I oversold it to myself when they came out. So my notes were like, "This is gonna be fucking awesome," and then afterwards it's like, "I'm a little disappointed."
Well, I mean, after the fuckboys got their little win, I was good for whatever happened. And then after that, we had a promo package for TM61, or TMDK, a.k.a. The Mighty Don't Kneel, who are an Australian tag team, and they are very, very good. You will be very impressed once they start wrestling again. Indeed. And who was it? Was it one of them had like a really bad arm injury or something, didn't they?
Shane Thorne, I think.
Shane Haste. I disagree with them changing their names. They had really great names on the indie scene, and they just, goddamn it, let them do their thing.
Yeah, I agree with that, although I do know that some people opt to have their names changed. Chris Hero, for example, did opt for the Cassius Ohno.
Yeah. Although I think if he was known as Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno doesn't make any sense. Like, he's not Japanese. So, I don't understand.
Well, the idea was the KO kid, but then they give that gimmick to, of course, Kevin Owens.
Yeah. So, yeah, after the promo package, which was very good, I'd recommend just tracking down the promo package if you don't want to watch anything else. It was really, really good. Mm-hmm. We had a match between Lacey and Aaliyah, which was meh.
Sloppy. I did kind of like that they're trying to give Lacey some character, though. Gave her some heelish tendencies.
They're not hyping her up as this badass Marine that is a total fucking washout, can't wrestle to save her life, and gets the shit kicked out of her constantly. Good job, Marines! So Lacey got the win after a sloppy match, which I didn't bother taking any notes on because I was very much just kind of...
Yeah, my notes were literally more heelish stuff from Lacey than I recall, which could be good. And, yeah, Lacey KOs Aaliyah to get the win. Sloppy match. Hope these girls have some development in them.
Yeah. My notes are as follows. Meh, beginner-type match. And then after the match...
In fairness to Lacey Evans, she is more or less a beginner still.
Yeah. I have more notes about after the match than the actual match. So Lacey gets on the mic after throwing a knockout punch, which she seems very shocked that she can do. And my first note is, did that bitch just talk shit about Nikki Cross?
And then Ember Moon, and then Kairi Sane. My response was, you're biting off far more than you can chew.
Yeah, and then Shayna Baszler comes out because somebody's talking shit. And my note here says, hey, it's Shayna. She's such a scamp. And then she chases... Lacey just kind of slinks off because she's not badass. Suddenly she's not badass.
Looking very... Yeah, my notes read, it's like, you want Nikki Cross, you want Ember Moon, you want Kairi Sane, beating off more than you can chew. Oh, look, it's Shayna. Yeah. You don't want none of this.
Yeah, so Shayna takes her impish, scampish self down to the ring, and for some dumbass reason, puts a shitty choke on an already knocked out girl who suddenly isn't knocked out, and then she can't put a choke on her properly enough to actually choke her unconscious.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed by the fact that they're just not letting... you can put someone in a rear naked choke legitimately and just not squeeze. Yeah. And it still looks like you're choking them. Yeah. So I don't know why they're... I don't know if it's like the girls are horrified of being actually put in a choke or something. Or WWE doesn't want to show them in a choke or something.
It doesn't make any sense. You have this new credible badass, and people are able to withstand her choke for longer than 6 seconds? That's a no. That's a hard no.
Well, that's WWE's classic logic of every time, like when they had Ken Shamrock doing the ankle lock and stuff. It's like I remember even as a relatively young kid going like, I'm familiar enough with MMA to know that your ankle is broken.
Yeah. It's like they don't understand what reality is.
It's the problem whenever they try to translate an MMA thing into it. We talked about this with Sonya Deville earlier as well. Yeah. Like, if you're not going to give it some realism, you're just fucking up.
Yep. So the way it should have gone is she grabbed the chick that was talking shit, choke her unconscious in 6 seconds or less, Well, 6 seconds. And then do something else. Do something else to get some heat. Prove that you're a legit badass. And I guess then you can go pick on the chick that's unconscious in the ring for no reason. So Ember Moon comes down while Shayna's fucking up her rear naked choke that she can't even apply to an unconscious girl correctly. And Ember Moon comes down, chases her off, and makes some dumb, fucking foolish, idiotic statements about beating up Shayna's ass. Oh man, I cringed so hard. I'm pretty sure I might not be able to poop for 2 days. It was just stupid. Like, why don't you... I got an idea. Why don't we get Francis Ngannou to come in, take Shayna's place, and then we can get, I don't know, Rockstar Spud to come in and talk shit about how he's going to knock out Francis Ngannou. That would work, right? That's the fucking retards.
William Regal then made it official, and then we had a... Did you watch the Zelina Vega deal?
Fuck no.
Alright, I'll go through it. She comes in to bury No Chance Gargano. She's making logical sense, to be honest. Gargano getting a title shot at this point is a bit... It's a bit weird within the logic of results. But then she starts going on about how Velveteen Dream deserves it. I'm like, is Velveteen Dream not also coming off of a loss? Like, he did lose to Aleister Black. So if you want to argue for Black, or Lars Sullivan, or Killian Dane, or... Really, actually, it's those three. If you want to argue for one of them, go nuts. Feel fine. But... as much as, there's a certain level of logic to this that Velveteen Dream should have been in the tournament and Gargano got his spot, it doesn't change the fact that he is on a losing streak. Or if he has had a return match, I can't remember if he has. It was over some jobber, and, who cares? Like, his only particularly meaningful match is a loss to Aleister Black. A great match. Fantastic match where he showed a hell of a lot. But a loss. So this logic was immediately
injured. So he lost a big ass match. He immediately got injured or was injured during the match, and then we're supposed to buy the fact that somehow this title shot should have been his. The fuck is wrong?
I'm willing to buy it from Velveteen Dream, like when he was cutting the promo about Gargano should thank him, etc. I get that because that's delusional heel. Like, I would have won the tournament if I was there. That's fine. But when Zelina Vega's piling on, it's like. Why? Why is she doing this? Because she's arguing she's arguing for someone who's coming off a loss, and she shouldn't be afraid of Gargano beating Andrade Cien because Andrade has beaten him twice. So she shouldn't be trying to weasel her way out of that match into another match against someone coming off a loss. You should either be weaseling your way into getting out of the match entirely, like, Andrade, if you don't have a contender for Andrade, okay, we're not going to defend it, take over, or trying to get him into a bigger muddy fight, to use the fight game terminology.
Yeah.
Something more prestigious.
So basically, none of this made fucking sense.
Yeah, none. No, it's not.
That's why I fucking skipped it. She doesn't make any sense ever for any reason. She's like the Miz of NXT. So that's cute. And then we move on to a No Way Jose promo, and No Way Jose did not mean a single goddamn word he said out loud. His eyes were completely flat. He barely had an expression. He was just busy reading lines off screen, I think, and it was trash. It was fucking horrible.
Not very good.
And then we had, I think they went to commercial or something and came back, and then the announcers were announcing something, or the commentators were trying to commentate on something, and then your boy Johnny Gargamel comes down to the ring and cuts an impassioned promo about not being overlooked and stuff like that, and then fucking put his title shot on the line against the Velveteen Dream for zero reason. That's dumb.
Yeah, dumb babyface. I get the logic of it. He's tired of being overlooked, and this is kind of like, fine, I'll shut you up. But yeah, I've never really been able to get behind the dumb babyface idea. I've never been able to get behind this.
No, it's stupid. It's poor booking. It's lazy, and it fire yourself.
If anyone can make it work, it's probably Gargano. But
oh, absolutely, totally, 100%. but it's still stupid. Fucking dumb as shit. And then we had a really not good match at all. It was the Disciples of Apocalypse. No, that's not right. Who are these guys again?
Authors of Pain.
Oh, yeah! So we had the Authors of Pain against Street Pussy. And it was really hilarious for the Streetwalkers to be standing in their corner and then pretend like they're not scared and pretend like they're just trying to stand up to AOP, who got in the ring and got right in their face. But they didn't do anything. They knew that this was a spot, that the ref was going to stand there. They didn't have to do it. And they didn't do anything. They the zero ability to feed into a situation. It was really bad. It started off the match just about the worst way you can. Also, the scrawny one has bitch tits. That guy is on some fucking steroids. If you don't believe me, go back and check. His nipples are sticking out an extra 2 inches beyond everything else. Dude's got gyno.
A little bit.
Yeah. At one point during the match, Moro said something funny to me, but probably wasn't intended to be funny. He said something like Ford Escape or Ford Escapes, and I went, haha, like the car. My brain is weird like that. Also, the match was bad, so I was grasping at anything. The AOP got the finish with the Super Collider. It was a giant anticlimax, really boring match. The whole thing should have been a squash that wasn't a squash. It was weirdly just slow, just filling time. I had my final note on it is I managed to come up with a country music gimmick for Achem Breakem Heart while this match was going on. That's how boring and slow and dumb this match was.
Slightly more positive on the match than you are. Mostly because I had exceedingly low expectations, and therefore anything that was right kind of was like, that was pretty good. And if it was like, just like, I don't know. If this were a match between the American Wolves versus Motor City Machine Guns, it would have been something I would have just taken for granted. But in this match, it's like, that was pretty good. Flat. It shouldn't have been a squash because we've said this before. As much as we don't like the Street Profits, they are over. I don't know how. I don't know why.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
But
And I've
I
never
wouldn't
heard anybody
squash them.
say why. I've never heard anybody give a reason for, like Luke Owen from the Wrestle Talk. He loves them. I don't know why. And Steve and Larson love them. I have no idea why. And they never say. They're like, oh yeah, these guys are really good. These guys are awesome. These guys are the best thing in NXT. Like that.
I think it's because we're like in the minority of not finding them entertaining. That like everyone else is like, well, it's obvious why they're entertaining. I'm like, no, but explain it to me.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. They don't have what I would call charisma. They just kind of dance around like idiots. I've seen idiots dance around my entire life. Any idiot can do that. I've seen them wrestle. Literally anybody with a week's worth of training can do the moves that they're doing. They don't do anything in the ring that I like. They don't do anything outside the ring that I like. Their promo skills are shit because they're just trying to talk shit, I guess, but it's bad. So I don't get it. I don't understand how I'm supposed to enjoy any of this.
I'm very much in the same boat. Maybe slightly less anti them than you. Because you seem to be caused physical pain by watching them.
I mean, when they're in the ring, they're basic. I don't expect them to do anything. They've got a couple of spots that they've tried to do. I noticed that 0 of those spots were done against the Authors of Pain. They were just a job team. So why the fuck was I bothered with a match that went longer than 2 minutes? What the fuck?
Yeah, it sets AOP up for a title shot, I guess. But being the former champions, one would think they would have been able to more or less just go up to Regal and be like, "We want a title shot. Sanity's out. You got no one else. Give us a title shot." Or, put them in there with Heavy Machinery again. But I guess they have already done that.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But that was all. That was the week's wrestling in a nutshell. And the nutshell's pretty big.
Yep. So we got anything news-wise to add?
Apparently Mark Henry is denying the reports that he has retired.
Please retire, Mark.
Just please do so. Roman Reigns has been accused of using steroids, but the accusations seem a little weak. Jey Uso was arrested for being a drunk son of a bitch behind the wheel, like an idiot. So, there go their titles. They have to. They can't just let the Usos carry titles after a drunk driving arrest. Paige, we've already talked about, but Paige is apparently effectively medically retired. They haven't done any announcements or given her time to do a retirement speech.
Probably because she's probably not going to retire. She's, we've talked about how she doesn't listen to people anyways.
Yeah.
She's probably going to try and wait out her contract and then go wrestle somewhere else.
Yeah.
Someone will pay her to do it.
The other theory is that they're waiting till they're maybe in England. They've got shows after WrestleMania in England, so they're thinking maybe waiting until then. But she's been pulled from the Rumble, and there's no explanation as to why, other than that. So, Bobby Lashley and EC3 are both out of their contracts from TNA. Apparently, EC3 was at the Performance Center on Tuesday. He had a booking for the weekend of the Royal Rumble, which has now been canceled. So it looks like he's going to be a surprise entrant.
Trouble.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. War Machine, Ricochet, and Candice LeRae?
Mm-hmm. Well, Candice Gargano.
Yeah, they are all in the Performance Center. The picture of the four of them looks stupid as fuck. Apparently Brooke Hogan's running her fucking dumbass cock trap again, saying that Hulk Hogan is going to run for public office and win.
God, I hope not, but I said that about Donald Trump.
Yeah, and I ran a couple polls on the Facebook page. Most likely to win the Women's Royal Rumble. It is currently a three-way tie between Stephanie McMahon, Zach Gowen, and Santino Marella. And I have another one up that's asking which federation likely to have former talent show up as a surprise entrant in the Royal Rumble. Currently winning is TNA with 2 votes.
Yep.
And I think that's about it.
Can't really think of anything else myself. So yeah, that is our show. Tune in next week when we go over more, hopefully less painful stuff.
Yeah. Oh, one other small snippet of news. Cage Side Seats is saying that they've got a story with Alberto El Patron saying he's made peace with the WWE. So, good luck.
I wouldn't if I were them.
No, me neither.
He is not someone I would actually employ. I enjoy him in the ring, but I would not employ him.
That's it. That's all. Just
that's all. Out. Get off his lawn.